So here are the products that you are going to need along with your base color. For the base color, I'd recommend something dark so that it kind of looks like the night sky, like this blue. You could also use black. Yeah, pretty much blue or black, but any shade of it is fine. And then I put a top coat on with little moons in it because I thought it was kind of spooky. But you could use any kind of top coat that adds sparkles, almost like it's, the night sky. I found that any tint works fine on a darker color, so you could even use something like this if you really want some hollow. Look at how pretty that is. That would look really nice. But anything with sparkles that you could put over top of it would be pretty. So what you're going to do is you are going to start with your color coat here. All your nails are going to be the same color. Paint them all as many times as you need to. I didn't actually paint it on the paper because that's just a waste of time. So I've just colored it with Sharpie. But that's a nail. That is a nail that we're going to be working on. I would also have included my sparkly coat, but again, that's a waste of time. You already know how to paint your nails, probably. So yeah, let's go to the next step. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your white nail polish and you're just going to go from one corner. You can choose either side, is fine, but the bottom corner. On the thumb, it's the bottom is towards the bed of the nail, whereas on this finger, the bottom is towards the tip. That's because when you hold up your hand like this, they're both kind of facing the same direction. So that's why I did it like that. But you take your bottom and you start there. Oop. You want to make sure that you don't have too much white on your brush. And you're going to start from the corner and you're going to slightly curve it out and then curve it slightly back in as you get towards the top, like that. Now, as you can see, it's not super opaque. You're going to have to fill it in. Let the first layer dry, and then you're going to go over it again with your brush. There we have it. It's running a little blue around here. I think that's just the Sharpie being absorbed by the nail polish, and that's fine. Also, as you can see, we have gone outside of our boundaries. So you're going to take a cleanup tool, something like this, or perhaps a brush, and normally I'd put it in acetone. I can't do that because this is a piece of paper, but you essentially scrape around it with your acetone tipped brush or little dotting tool like this, and you would remove that using your acetone. I'm just gonna kind of spread it around. I'm super professional, you guys. Like, here's the truth. When I paint my nails, I almost always get a whole crap ton on my actual skin around it. And, I usually just scrape it off and ignore it. Because that's what you gotta do sometimes. We're not all perfect. We don't all have steady hands, but you can still have awesome nail art. So we're just gonna let this dry. And I'll get back to you when it is dry for our next step. Okay, so we have waited for about 15 minutes and it's dry enough to work with. I would also recommend waiting for 15 minutes at least, but you can just kind of touch it to feel if it's dry, and you'll know if it's dry or not. If it's tacky, don't move on to the next step. You can still touch it when it's tacky, but it's not good for working with this bad boy. But we're not quite ready for that just yet. What you're going to do is you're going to get out any nail polish like this. really thin tipped nail polish specifically for nail art. It doesn't matter what color it is, because what you're going to do is you're going to actually remove the color itself. You can do it fully with some nail polish remover, or if you don't really care all that much, like me right now, because this isn't a serious nail art tutorial, you can just kind of go like this, and there you go. It's totally fine. So, move the bottle away, and what you're going to do is you're going to take out whatever color you want for the edge of the ghost. You see how the edge of the ghost is sparkly? So you're going to find something that'll contrast to your dark background, which is the blue, and your white ghost. So I chose this purple hollow, super pretty. So you're going to get some of that sparkle onto your thin tipped brush. So you're just going to do it like that. And there you have it. So you're going to gently trace it onto the edge of the ghost. You're going to have to keep reapplying. If you want, you could, sorry, I keep doing that. You could just do a little dollop of it on a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard or something to help make it more like a paint palette. You will need something like that in a later step, so you might as well just start with it now. And then you just kind of trace around the edge. You can do a thicker line, you can do a thinner line, whatever you prefer. You might want to try getting it a little bit more on the white, because of the fact that that my white kind of bled into my blue from my Sharpie. The edge of my ghost was not very white, as you can see, it's kind of blue. But when you do it on actual nail polish, you will be able to get it right onto the white of the ghost. That's the best part, because it'll look its most sparkly against the white background as opposed to the darker background. We are going to be working on the mouth of our ghost with that brush, so don't quite put that away. So you're going to get some acrylic paint, black acrylic paint. Now you may be thinking, acrylic paint for your nails, really? It's really good for details. It doesn't run when you put a top coat over top of it, and it's much easier to paint small details with than actual nail polish. So I highly recommend using acrylic paint. Now you're just going to dip it in here, and you're going to choose a spot for the mouth and gently draw a little smile. Now on mine, I did a tongue. That's totally optional. I actually did it because I messed up. So I had to add the little tongues to cover that up. But if you want a little tongue, you can just do a little line like that. That's a really long tongue. I kind of messed this up because I'm further away than my actual nail. So it's a little bit harder. But when you bring it up close to your face, it's quite easy to get the tongue the way that you want it to be. So once you've done that, then you clean off your brush again. I'm actually going to use nail polish remover to get this fully off, because the acrylic paint is a little bit harder to remove that way. So now you're going to get your dotting tool and the smaller end. For my thumbnail, I used the bigger end, and this size that I've done here is closer to my thumb size, so I'm going to use that. But when you do it on a smaller finger, like your ring finger, you should use the smaller end. Sorry, I think I might have said smaller end for this, which is wrong. Use the bigger end for your thumb, the smaller end for your other one. There you go. So you just do two little dots That one was a little bit too big, but 2 little dots above where your mouth is. And that's that. Now, I included little cheek blushies because they're blushing because they're just so excited and a little bit shy. That's again completely optional. But if you're going to do it, use red acrylic paint. So again, we're just going to do a little dot here with red acrylic paint. And because we used the big end for the eyes, we're going to use the small end for the cheeks. If you already used the small end for your eyes, just be a little bit lighter when you apply the dots to make them slightly smaller. We're going to do a dainty little doop, doop, and there you go. This is again messier than what I have on my nails because when you're painting with your nails, you can get up close with that. I had to put this on the floor to film it, and I'm fairly far away from my fake little nail here. So I would be better if I was up close to it like I had my actual nails when I was doing them. But that's basically it. Take a little bit more time than I did. Once you are fully done, put on a glossy top coat on top of it to really make it shine. I love a good shiny nail. And also it'll help keep it in place for a long amount of time because you want this manicure to last as long as possible. That's my tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. Sorry it's really long.